Hey everybody, Gabe here. Wanted to do another episode of Gabe's World of Fun Stuff, where I repair and modify my guitars. Today I'm going to be working on my 1966 Hagstrom 12 string. I've had this guitar for about 5 years now. It's one of my favorites, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, it's been in a number of my videos. A lot of King Gizzard covers, since Stu used to use one of these. I think Frank Zappa also played one, and a few other artists. It's all original except for this one switch right here, which the previous owner replaced before he sent it to me. But over the years, these other switches have worn out to the point where they don't hardly work at all. So I'm gonna take the whole thing apart and replace them. I'm a little nervous to work on this guitar. It's about 60 years old now, and I've actually never taken this thing apart, so I don't know what to expect under the pickguard. It's got a really weird wiring scheme. There's one volume knob, which it's at 10, and if you turn it down the tiniest bit, it just disappears. You've got a on-off switch for the whole guitar, an on and off switch for the neck pickup, an on and off switch for the bridge pickup. This is it's called a tone switch. The text is kind of faded off the pickguard. The tone switch, I guess supposed to be the same as rolling your tone knob all the way off. Pretty sure there's like a capacitor hooked up to that. And there's also this mute switch. I don't know how that works, but I think it just cuts the volume a little bit. It might roll off some high end. It's kind of hard to tell. I'll show you just kind of how worn out these parts are. I've got it plugged into my trusty mini tweed amp, and kind of have to fiddle with it just to get it started. That's the mute switch. Here's the neck pickup. It's kind of hard to get both of them working at the same time. Tone control barely works at all. Yeah, I just can't get that switch to work. Okay, so I took the strings off. I took the bridge off. I taped these two posts down because they're a little loose. They're kind of wiggling around a little bit. And I don't want them to move and adjust the bridge height because this guitar plays really well. I'll go ahead and take off the pickguard and see what's under here. Okay, here's a look at the inside of my old Hagstrom 12 string. No wonder I couldn't get the switches off. They're all soldered. Here's the old capacitor for the tone knob, and there's just a resistor on this mute switch to cut that volume down a little bit. And here's that volume pot. This is the newer switch that the previous owner put in for me, and these old, I guess they're DP/DT switches, they look pretty different than modern ones. Oh yeah, these replacement switches I ordered, I didn't realize they didn't come with screws, so I had to search through all of my parts bins. And luckily I found just enough screws for all my switches, but like 3 or 4 of them are gold, so I went ahead and ordered some more fender switch screws just because I know they'll fit, so they all match and have that chrome or nickel hardware or whatever it is. Here's some of the other new parts that I'm putting in. Just gonna put in a full-size pot here, audio taper, so hopefully I get a little bit more of a responsive turn onto it. Gonna put a new output jack in it as well. I'm nervous about these pickups. I gotta be real careful with them. Those wires and those solder joints look not the strongest, so hopefully I don't mess this guitar up. I actually found a wiring diagram for a Hagstrom Model 2, which is electronically the same circuit, but this diagram came from one of their newer guitars, so it's essentially the same thing, but I guess updated for more modern components, so I don't have to do any guesswork. All right, I'm just gonna unsolder this output jack, get this body out of the way, and then I'll do most of the wiring with the pickguard off of the guitar. Removed as much of that solder as I could. Hopefully I can get these off. Actually, okay, now I see what they've done. These screws don't fit these holes on these switches at all. So they just use them to hold them in place and then use the solder to keep them from falling out. That's a pretty unique design. I've never seen anything like that. There we go. There's our 4 60-year-old slider switches. They look pretty gross. I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did. Now I gotta get those out of the pick guard. That's insane. This is just like a little plate that hooks onto one of the screws, and all the ground wires solder onto that. So I'm gonna save that.
It's much too late for me. Another birthday and it's much too late. Yeah, it's much too late for me. Saying much too late for me. Yeah.
Okay, finally got them all out. Had to heat them up and suck all that solder off, and then heat them up a little bit more just so that they would push through with that tip of the soldering iron. They were getting stuck in the plastic. So I think I'm gonna have to make these holes a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'll have to make these holes a little bit bigger for these other screws. Just gotta take off this pot and then we can start putting the new electronics in it. Of course it's gonna be stuck on there, and I'm really scared of breaking that pick guard. So don't make replacements for these.
Birthday and it's much too late. Yeah, it's much too late for me.
there's the old pot taken out. That was harder than it had to be. I'm gonna try to make these holes a little bigger with this knife.
Exactly where they want you to be. Saying much too late for me.
Okay, there's all 4 switches and the new volume pot installed. Looks a little funny with the 4 golden screws, but I've got some replacements coming so we can make it match. I used my knife to kind of makeshift countersink those holes. The heads of the screws still stick up a little bit, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. It's actually still kind of noticeable on the other side, on where this one top switch was replaced. I would go ahead and countersink that, but it seems that the last owner soldered the ground to that screw. I don't want to deal with that again, so I'm just going to leave it. So I've got my wiring diagram pulled up. I'm gonna get all this wired up, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, it works and I don't have to pull my hair out wondering what went wrong. Okay, that's everything wired up except for the output jack. I'm just gonna kind of put these on and plug it in and make sure we're getting a signal from everything like we're supposed to. Well, it seems to be working. Only thing is, I think they are, I think I did it upside down so that I'm used to flipping them this way would be everything's turned off, but now it's this way, everything's turned off, I guess. But that's fine. I'm gonna do one more quick signal test before I screw everything down and put strings back on it. Going with the Ernie Ball 12-string Slinky 8 to 40. These are the only strings I've ever used on this guitar. They're pretty good. They seem to last me a while. Alright, it's all strung up. Last thing I'm going to do is just put this little knob on here and take it up to the studio and see how it sounds. Tighten that screws too. Alright, we're back in the studio with the Hagstrom 12-string all tuned up, put back together, and I'm very proud of myself because everything worked on the first try and I didn't have to resolder anything. That rarely happens. But yeah, it works perfectly just like it's supposed to. The tone and the mute switch works just fine. Here's the tone switch with a it's got a 22 microfarad capacitor in it, and basically flicking that down is the same as rolling your tone knob all the way off. And the mute switch, it brings the volume down a little bit, and it also cuts the high end just a little bit too, but not as much as the tone switch. And I didn't measure this resistor, but according to the Hagstrom 2 wiring diagram, it's I think it said a 12K resistor. Don't quote me on that. This is off and on. Yeah, bridge pickup by itself. Neck. Both of them. Sounds great, I think. And with this new volume pot I put in it, it actually works. That's nice. Put a new jack in it too, so it's not all crackly. Also, these new switches don't stick up as high, which is pretty nice. I'm not gonna hit my knuckles on those when I'm strumming hard. I left the string ends on it for now because this guitar has this weird little quirk with the tuning pegs where once I tune it to pitch, they'll start sliding around on the posts until they get positioned exactly where they want to sit, which is really annoying because first time I restrung this guitar and cut the ends off, one string came out, and where it was too short, I couldn't get it back through the hole, and that was annoying. But now I just do this and just wait a couple days and it'll be just fine. It stays in tune pretty good for a 60-year-old 12-string. It's a pretty rock solid guitar. It's got a great neck on it. The truss rods they use in these guitars are pretty great. They're wide and really sturdy. They're wide and thin. If you've ever played a Rickenbacker 12-string, you know the strings are really close together, especially down around the nut, which makes some chord shapes and like intricate picking kind of difficult. But on this one, there's plenty of space. That pretty much does it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I just passed 800 subscribers, so thank you for that. It's pretty cool. I'm sure I'll have some more videos with this 12-string coming very soon. As far as I know, I'm one of the few people that actually have one of these and be posting videos of it. They're pretty rare. I think I read somewhere that there's like 3,000 of these in the world. It's kind of cool, I think. My band Planetarium just released our first album a couple weeks ago. I played drums on it and a couple other things. We recorded and produced it ourselves here in the studio, and it's up on Bandcamp now if you want to support us, or you can listen to it for free on this channel, or it's on Spotify, Apple Music too. almost like we're a real band or something. And that's pretty much it. I got some more new music coming out soon. Working on some solo stuff, working on a new album with my band. Stoked on it. More covers coming soon, original stuff. Gear videos maybe, I don't know. I gotta get better at talking to a camera. Cheers. Have a good one. You know what they say about 12 strings. You spend half your time tuning and half your time playing out of tune. It's been a hard